As the number of COVID-19 cases continues to rise globally and right here in Guyana, we encourage everyone to practice social distancing and wash your hands thoroughly and frequently as we strive to stop the spread of the virus. This is InfoHub for Monday, April 6, 2020. We have lots to tell you. The total number of confirmed cases of the novel coronavirus or COVID-19 in Guyana now stands at 29 as of April 5, 2020. Of the 29 confirmed cases, 25 are active and 4 are deceased. This was confirmed by the Ministry of Public Health, and a total of 110 persons have been tested. Another 157 are on home quarantine and 6 are in the Public Health Ministry's care. The Ministry of Public Health is again calling on all citizens to heed the health advisories and observe the correct hygiene measures and precautions. Citizens are also asked to practice social distancing in the workplace, public spaces, and whilst using public transportation so as to reduce the spread of the coronavirus disease. Head of the National COVID-19 Task Force, Prime Minister, the Honorable Moses Nagamutu, via a live video conferencing session with the media on Saturday, clarified the emergency orders and announced that stimulus packages will be distributed to the vulnerable. In the first video conference with journalists to promote social distancing, the Prime Minister noted the emergency orders are there to protect the public against COVID-19.
More importantly, we want everyone who has no essential duties to perform, ideally to stay at home, stay in your own yards, and avoid going out there and contributing to either the spread of this contagion or being infected. And then one infected person would then be a carrier.
Prime Minister Nagamutu called for the public's compliance with the advisories on social distancing and the measures implemented that see widespread restriction on public activities. It was further clarified that the orders would not limit essential services. Concerning the hamper distribution exercise that has started for persons affected by the emergency orders, the Prime Minister committed to ensuring that the needs of the vulnerable are met.
This has to be something that is needs-based and not just whimsically handing out to persons and or even subject the process to any form of abuse. There will be no abuse while I am heading this task force, and the people most in need will get assistance first. That's the priority of this scale of social assistance.
Prime Minister Nagamutu also highlighted plans to establish a COVID-19 hospital based on the recommendation of PAHO WHO.
We have looked at the proposal for a dedicated hospital, and we have identified a building in the immediate vicinity of the city and East Coast, the Ocean View.
The former hotel will have a capacity to accommodate 300 beds for critical COVID-19 patients. Additional buildings of interest to treat COVID-19 patients are the Guyana Broadcasting Corporation's old building on High Street, the gymnasium on Mandela Avenue, and the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall on Homestretch Avenue. Paul McAdam for InfoHub. Meanwhile, the Civil Defense Commission on Sunday began the distribution of relief hampers to vulnerable communities as part of the government's efforts to mitigate the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic locally.
Sunday's exercise saw over 200 residents in Plastic City in Region 3 and Tiger Bay and Lombard Street in Georgetown receiving supplies. The hampers comprised food items and cleaning essentials. Heading the exercise was Director General of the CDC, Kester Craig.
People need our assistance. So we mobilize personnel from the Civil Defense Commission, from the Rotary Club, the Rotary Club, and also from all the other organizations, the military, to ensure that we provide relief supplies to those who are in need. As you're aware, we're focusing first on the most vulnerable population. And we're going by communities to ensure that everyone receives the supplies.
The Director General noted that Sunday's operation will be evaluated to ensure that going forward, the distribution process will continue to flow smoothly. The exercise continues today in the communities of Planters Hall in Region 5, as well as Rivers View and in Georgetown. Seneca Thorne, Info Hub.
The Civil Defense Commission is also calling local partners, business entities, as well as individuals who wish to aid in the mobilization of groceries, finances, personal care, and sanitation supplies by way of donation to vulnerable communities to contact its office on 226-1114. Further details can be found on DPI's Facebook page. In news from the court, the appeals court has ruled that it is unconstitutional and unlawful for CARICOM to supervise the Guyana Elections Commission's recount of the votes cast in the March 2, 2020 general and regional elections.
Justice of Appeal Dawn Gregory Barnes, in her ruling on Sunday, said GECOM's decision to act on an agreement with the president and the opposition leader for a national recount was unlawful. The case was brought before the Court of Appeal by private citizen Yulita Grace Moore, challenging the full court's decision that it can conduct a review of the decision by the Guyana Elections Commission. The full court had revised the previous decision by the High Court Judge Franklin Holder to hear the matter. Like Justice Gregory Barnes, Justice Bassington Reynolds agreed that the case has merit and should be allowed a hearing. Justice Rishi Prasad, however, agreed with the full court and ruled that the appeal has no merit and should be dismissed. Attorney at law Roysdale Ford explained.
To my understanding, the court has ruled conclusively, by two judges at least, that the agreement entered into between the leader of the opposition and the president to do a recount is unconstitutional and unlawful.
Would this impinge in any way in having the process being observed by observers rather than being supervised?
I don't know about observation. The case that we brought to the court was in relation to the supervision and the fact that GECOM, under the agreement and by their own records and statements, said that the agreement would have been supervised by the CARICOM. You would have heard over the past 48 hours, I believe, some statement by the leader of the opposition that he doesn't want CARICOM involved. He doesn't want GECOM involved. He wanted to be done by CARICOM. So, having regard to at least what we have heard from the court, that is unconstitutional.
The chairman of GECOM, Justice Claudette Singh, had already indicated that a recount will go ahead with or without CARICOM. The body further stated that it would await the court's ruling before moving ahead with the recount. According to Ford, GECOM would still have to wait in the event there is any advice tendered to either party to head to the Caribbean Court of Justice.
We also do not know if, having regard to what we would have seen from the orders, whether the advice will be tendered to either side, not just my clients, as to the fact that they should appeal to the Caribbean Court of Justice. So all of these are speculative considerations that we can't really decide on at this stage.
The court issued its consequential orders at approximately 1:30 p.m. today. Seneca Thorne, Info Hub.
We will return with the news after this public service announcement.
The CDC is looking for a locally produced mask. Sample received will be inspected to ensure that it conforms with the relevant standards. Contact will be made with persons who meet these requirements for further discussion on production for CDC. Samples can be dropped off at the Civil Defense Commission office any day between 800 hours to 1600 hours in sealed packages with name and contact number. The CDC is located on Thomas Road, Thomas Lands, Georgetown. First building on the right after Guyana Defense Force, base Camp Ayangana when heading west. Telephone numbers 226-1114, 226-1117, 600-7500.
Welcome back. Now for more COVID-19 news. As the business community ramps up its support in the fight against COVID-19, proprietor of Tony's Auto Sales, located at Le Souvenir on the east coast of Demerara, distributed hand sanitizers and other necessities to customers and nearby communities.
As the government of Guyana continues to do its part to combat COVID-19, members of the business community are joining these efforts. Over the weekend, owner of Tony's Auto Spares, Jasper Ramcharan, distributed hand sanitizers, antibacterial soaps, and vitamins to customers and residents in nearby communities.
The reason we chose to do this is because we realize that a lot of Guyanese are out of reach of basic sanitizers. and many of them cannot afford because it is expensive. So we realized we needed to do our part and ensure that these people get.
He noted that it is important to make Guyana a better place by working together and help those who cannot get access to the basic supplies required to fight COVID-19.
It's not much, but it's something, and I would encourage other businesses to do so, as we all should play a part in making Guyana a better place right now in this crisis.
For InfoHub, I am Kellen Rover.
Here now is a Ministry of Public Health message.
Because the practice is waiting for the continent.
Alright, boss, the lady could go. I will catch you next one.
Alright. Thank you very much.
My name is Kelly, and I'm a bus driver within the community of Mabru, and we are doing our part to protect our community.
This has been a public service announcement from the Department of Public Health, Burima-Wani, Region Number 1.
The Mayor and City Council has announced that municipal markets and all street vending in Georgetown will only operate between the hours of 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. In addition, the council says that certain guidelines must be adhered to, including produce must be stored 6 inches above the ground. Vendors are expected to regularly sanitize commonly touched surfaces with bleach and water solutions, and they must ensure that physical distancing is practiced at their stalls or caravans. Persons are expected to maintain at least a 6-foot distance between themselves and others, especially anyone who's coughing or showing signs of the flu-like disease. The Mayor City Council is also asking caravan operators to ensure that a system is in place for persons to be sanitized. A sink equipped with potable water and soap is recommended so that patrons can wash their hands before accessing any goods. Face masks are mandatory for both patrons and customers before they enter the inside of the markets. Further details can be found on our website dpi.gov.gy. As the number of coronavirus cases continue to increase locally, it is necessary for you to practice proper hygiene to safeguard yourselves and families. Here's a short video on some do's and don'ts to guide you. Remember to do your part to ensure that you do not put yourself at risk during this time. Being able to hold your breath for 10 seconds or more without coughing or feeling discomfort does not mean you're free from the coronavirus disease or any other lung disease. The most common symptoms of COVID-19 are a dry cough, tiredness, and fever. Some people may develop more severe forms of the disease, such as pneumonia. The best way to confirm if you have the virus producing COVID-19 disease is with a laboratory test. You cannot confirm this with any breathing exercise, which can even be dangerous. So call the hotline if you experience any of the aforementioned symptoms. That's all for today. Connect with us on our social media platforms, including WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, as we bring you the latest and important news related to COVID-19 and much more. Also subscribe to our website, dpi.gov.gy. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Stay safe, wash your hands. Goodbye for now.